A very good evening and welcome to Verdict 2016. I'm Tracy Shilshi. In the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting you, of course, all the updates that are coming in from those 5 states that are going to polls. Of course, the Election Commissioner did visit Assam today. We'll get you details of that in a bit. But first, the headlines. The Election Commission reviews poll preparations in Assam, assures adequate resources to ensure free and fair elections in the state. Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi responds to Arun Jaitley's claim, says that the BJP will not see any increase in the seats in the assembly elections. And voters are flooded with election promises. Mamata's Trinamool Congress raises visions of a new Bengal. Left claims it will restore democracy in the state. But first, Chief Election Commissioner Dr. Naseem Zaidi reviewed preparations for Assam polls in assembly polls in Assam today, and the Election Commission also held discussions with political parties and senior officials for the smooth functioning of the polls. The Election Commissioner then later shared the details with the media.
Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi held a press conference in Guwahati on Tuesday to review the poll preparedness in the state. Zaidi and his team are on a 2-day visit to Assam to meet representatives of political parties and the administration to review arrangements for the upcoming assembly elections.
Another complaint raised before us was that in certain parts of the state, elector photo I cards are being taken away by some people, particularly from Manrega labours. Some parties have also emphasized that there is a need to check abuse of money, particularly black money, and they also drew our attention that gifts are being distributed in tea garden areas in particular.
Zaidi assured the state that the Election Commission would do everything to ensure free and fair elections, even as political parties underscored the need to check the abuse of money power.
So the Commission has taken note of all their concerns and suggestions, and we have assured them that this upcoming election will be very free and fair, and all of their suggestions will be taken into consideration. They have also assured us of their full cooperation.
Zaidi also directed the authorities to undertake a fresh assessment of vulnerable locations to boost the morale of the weaker sections in remote areas. He also informed that central police forces will be deployed in vulnerable as well as sensitive areas.
CPF has arrived in the state from 15th March. More CPF companies will arrive in next few days, and they are being deployed for area domination, particularly these vulnerable locations. Large number of vulnerable locations have been identified, and these central police forces will visit all these vulnerable locations.
The Chief Election Commissioner praised the efforts of the state government in containing election-related offences. According to him, more than 23,000 licensed arms out of a total 32,000 registered arms have been deposited, and more than 5,000 had been impounded. He also said that more than 5 lakh litres of illicit liquor were seized by the authorities.
DMs and SPs have been directed that police station-wise list of antisocial elements, criminals must be prepared, and all of them must be subjected to preventive action. There would be continuous vigil on international borders in particular.
The CEC also directed authorities to maintain social and communal harmony under all conditions. He directed the enforcement agencies to keep a strict vigil on rail, road and airports, and said the election machinery will be focused on taking preventive action against the criminals. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And helping us understand, of course, the politics of it, what is it that we can be expecting, what are the surprises that can be sprung at us, of course, in all these states. We've got in studio today, this evening, we've got Shekhar Iyer, who's the political editor with the Deccan Herald, joining us. We also have senior journalist Gautam Lahiri with us as well. If I could come to you first, Gautam, I was just talking to Shekhar Iyer, saying that this is not a Delhi or a Bihar election where we saw, these if you could say, huge speeches and support for that matter as well. What, according to you, we'll go to Guwahati, we'll go to Assam in a bit, but what, according to you, among these 5 states is going to be that crucial factor perhaps for the BJP or for that matter even the Congress?
Yes, actually, so far, out of these 5 states, where the 2 states Congress party is ruling, they are the ruling party. So they are fighting to retain their power for once again. So in Assam, they are facing a very steep opposition from BJP and his partners, new partners like AGP and Bodo parties. But in other 2 states like Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, where it is a test for a regional party
Yes.
to retain power, or whether there will be change of one regional party to other regional party. So the stake of BJP, where nowhere BJP is ruling in these 5 states. Even in the last Lok Sabha poll, if you see the result, BJP got only, I think, 10 seats out of these 5 states, where most of these seats came from Assam. So they have a stake in Assam only, because last Lok Sabha poll, they were leading in about 65 assembly segment. So they have a huge stake.
Yes.
Though that vote was in favor in the name of Mr. Narendra Modi to become a prime minister of the country, but still the BJP could manage you can say consolidates his earlier vote bank to an extent that they could lead in a 65 segment, which is quite sizable number.
Yes.
So BJP has to prove that magic into this assembly election, whether they can get that 60 or 65 seats, so that they can retain power, or they can have more than 50 seats, so that they can go with AGP and Bodo parties. But in West Bengal, you see, it is a question of, West Bengal is a very highly polarized state.
Yes.
It is now the political scene is almost clear. People are divided whether to retain Mamata or to oust Mamata. So there is no third party like BJP has any role to play there. So there will be a fringe party there.
Yes.
They might pick up a few seats. That's a different issue. But main issue is whether Mamata will remain in the power or she will be out.
Yes.
That's a Congress, and also this is the first time that Congress and left, and particularly communists,
Yes.
have come together to defeat Mamata. This is an unique situation. For the last 60 years, both these parties were adversaries to each other.
Yes.
They are fighting
They are
against
still
each other.
adversaries in
There are
Kerala.
so many
Yeah.
killings have happened.
Yes.
Both the parties' cadres were killed by both the parties. So that was the allegations.
Yes.
So now the question is, so in this election, I think whether BJP can improve its position in Assam, and whether it can improve its vote percentage or vote share in some other states like Bengal, Kerala, particularly.
Okay. Okay. And like Gautam was pointing out, Shekhar, going at the 2014 verdict that we saw, a huge chunk that the BJP was able to secure. In Delhi, we did see it was Narendra Modi versus Kejriwal. In Bihar as well, we saw it was Narendra Modi versus Lalu and Nitish. Is that the Congress's strategy that it's going to be? Is it going to be a Tarun Gogoi versus Narendra Modi? Because there doesn't seem to be any mention of a Sarbanand Sonowal or a mention of a Praful Mahanta Kumar. There's none of those names that are coming up. It's mostly to do either Modi or a Jaitley that Tarun Gogoi is talking about.
Yeah, I think probably the BJP has also learnt its lesson from Bihar, where it was, they pitched the Prime Minister himself, against Nitish Kumar, and I think that did not go down well with the voters.
Yeah.
And the campaign floundered. I think having drawn lesson from that, Assam is essentially, they want to make it out as an election between Tarun Gogoi, who has been in office for the last 15 years and is facing heavy anti-incumbency,
Yes.
versus they have named Union Minister Sonowal.
Yes.
He is the face there. So, and also this time the Prime Minister's the campaign schedule is also looks like rather a very truncated one.
compared to the
There is
others.
no what they call carpet bombing, as they used to say earlier, nothing like that. A few meetings here and there. And as Mr. Lahiri was mentioning, I think the most hopeful of the states is Assam.
Yeah.
Because
Where
Assam,
they seem to have a realistic chance.
because
at some
Assam
attempt,
seems
yeah.
to be the best case scenario,
Yeah.
And from the Tarun Gogoi side, his idea is the way he is playing his cards, trying to align with smaller groups. Say the Bodo, there is a smaller Bodo group which he has aligned. His idea, if he can push it to a point where BJP or AGP, that alliance doesn't have enough numbers on its own, perhaps he can try to work out a post-poll kind of tie-ups.
Okay.
And in that case, even Badruddin and Ajmal's Minority Democratic Front could be a potential partner. He's looking at that scenario.
Yes, even though Badruddin is, of course, saying that I'm not a
Badruddin
PDP.
has been
Yes.
playing very carefully.
Yeah.
He has been ruling out any lines.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think the last statement he made was, in order to keep BJP out, he may consider an alliance with the Congress. I think
Okay.
that's going to be very
And we're in
interesting.
fact going to be talking about that the All India United Democratic Front chief, Badruddin Ajmal, in fact filed his nomination from South Salmara Assembly seat, and arriving on a helicopter amid huge followers, Ajmal in fact handed over his nomination to the district returning officer at Hatsing Mari and Dhubri MP, and of course the perfume baron expressed confidence at winning at least 30 to 35 seats in these upcoming elections.
सालमारा का समस्या को देखते हुए उसका समाधान हमारे हिसाब से भरपूर है कि अभी इंशाल्लाह इस मिनिस्ट्री में हम लोग का जो भी है बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा रहेगा, तो सालमारा के लिए हम कुछ कर सकेंगे। सरकार जो भी बनाएगा वो यूडीएफ को छोड़कर नहीं बना पाएगा। बीजेपी को तो हम कर ही नहीं सकते, आइडियोलॉजिकल हमारा उनका फर्क है, इसलिए वो एक सांप्रदायिक दल है, हम लोग नहीं कर सकते।
And a political war of words erupted between the BJP and the Congress in election-bound Assam, undoubtedly, of course. Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi on Monday, in fact, ridiculed Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, claiming that the BJP was on a strong wicket for the upcoming assembly polls. Gogoi said that people of Assam believe in social harmony and will not fall for saffron politics. Earlier, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley had said that the BJP will see a significant increase in the seats in the assembly elections. Polling for 126 assembly seats in Assam will take place on the 4th and the 11th of April.
वो जो मिशन था वो तो पहले पंक्चर हो गया। ये तो अनहोली अलायंस है, ये तो अपॉर्चुनिटीज अलायंस है, इसका कोई प्रिंसिपल नहीं है। जो उसको अलग अलग आइडियोलॉजी है, आइडियोलॉजी फिलोसफी फुल ऑफ कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है, वो सब एक साथ हो गया।
हम पांचों राज्यों में अपनी स्थिति में बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट सुधार करेंगे और विशेष रूप से अगर मैं आपको कहूं कि असम में हमारा गठबंधन सेंटर स्टेज में है, बहुत प्रभावी है।
All right, with that, a quick break here, but from Assam, we'll be moving ahead to West Bengal. Do stay with us here on Verdict 2016.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Welcome back. Like we said, election-bound West Bengal is witnessing a season of political promises. While Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress is promising a new Bengal, the left is pledging to what it calls restoration of democracy.
Releasing the party manifesto for the upcoming assembly polls recently, TMC Supremo and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee said she will build a new Bengal if she is voted to power again in 2016.
বাংলার মামাটি মানুষই আমাদের সবার নিবেদিত প্রাণ এবং আমরা পথ চলি বাংলার মামাটি মানুষকে নিয়ে কাজে তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের জোড়াফুল চিহ্নের যে ম্যানিফেস্টো এই ম্যানিফেস্টো আমরা সাধারণ মানুষের জ্ঞাতার্থে সাধারণ মানুষকে
TMC manifesto talks of zero tolerance policy towards crime and a special focus on women's security by building 65 all-women police stations in the state. TMC also promised to implement universal housing scheme for below poverty line citizens. Countering the TMC's claims to build a new Bengal, Left Front has also released its manifesto saying that development of the state lies in the defeat of TMC. The front has urged its voters to exercise their franchise for restoration of democracy in the state. The Left Front in West Bengal has published its election manifesto on Sunday. The left manifesto urged people restore democracy by defeating the TMC-led government. State had failed to attract investment during the last 5 years of rule by the Trinamool Congress. The manifesto also alleged that the economic policy of the BJP government at the centre had been benefiting the rich and the corporate while affecting the poor. The Left and Congress alliance has planned to take the message of their democratic alliance to people throughout the campaign to fight Mamata and BJP.
বামফ্রন্টের প্ল্যাটফর্ম থেকে প্রচার করবে, অন্যান্য পার্টি তারা তাদের নিজেদের পার্টির প্ল্যাটফর্ম থেকে প্রচার করবে, ইনক্লুডিং কংগ্রেস। প্ল্যাটফর্ম শেয়ারিং হবে না।
The sixth-phase assembly elections in West Bengal will be held from April 4th to May 5th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, so we continue to have Shekhar Iyer and, of course, Gautam Lahiri with us in studio to discuss, of course, about the poll preparedness in all the states. And like we were talking about Assam, now in West Bengal, Shekhar, it's ironic, isn't it? When Mamata came to power, everyone was expecting a new Bengal. And here she is, after all these years, still talking of a new Bengal. I mean, that's quite ironic. And that just says about, how the situation is in West Bengal, quite a tight situation.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of irony in, because that was supposed to be the creation of New Bengal.
Yes,
and that was supposed
the fall
to be
of the left
a
after
sonar,
all the decades,
golden Bengal.
Yes.
Apparently what has happened is she herself realizes a lot more could she have achieved if she had not focused so much on, political consolidation,
Yes.
which involved very questionable methods in which she tackled the opposition, particularly the left, and the manner in which she even tackled the Congress. Because today, a scenario has arisen where you find left and Congress forced to get into some kind of a, largely because the feeling is Trinamool under Mamata has been following a scorched earth kind of policy where, there has been a ruthless kind of decimation of, the rival parties.
Yes.
She has taken away their cadres. In some places, she has taken away their legislators. So, which is, virtually the opposition there has been, fighting for oxygen.
Yes.
And that has forced this kind of a thing where we just heard the senior CPM leader saying that we are not going to share any stage, we are not going to have even a joint campaign. There will be a separate campaign by Congress, and largely what we will have is some kind of understanding in terms of seats, which also shows the compulsion these parties are facing.
Yes.
This is going to be a very unique election.
Absolutely. And like you were pointing out, Gautam, earlier, first time the Congress, of course, coming not with the left, but with the communists, in West Bengal. And that is a significant step. And that is, of course, something which you feel may have repercussions later on, irrespective of what the verdict of this election would be?
Yeah, because, in Bengal, Congress and left, particularly communists, have come together. But in Kerala, left is fighting the same Congress. In Assam also, they are also formed a separate group, third front with Ajmal, Badruddin Ajmal. So far they called it, they are neither with BJP nor with the Congress group. So CPIM is in a peculiar state in Bengal because that's what Shekhar was saying. They are marginalized, no doubt. If you go by their organizational report of the last party Congress, you will see that all the frontal organization membership has come down to a significant level. So it is a question of now existence. That's why it forced the CPIM leadership to go with the Congress, who were erstwhile enemies, also political enemies, and also Congress, they are also decimated. So they also think that only they can tackle Mamata politically if both these forces come together. But what is happening that though Biman Bose is saying that they will not share platform, in many constituency we are watching that both Congress and CPM workers are jointly campaigning. Jointly, even today I saw in one of the independent candidates that Professor Ambikesh Mahapatra of Jadavpur, who was arrested for drawing a cartoon about Mamata. He is a candidate there. As an independent, both Congress and CPM came together, and they, along with him, they are making a procession and asking votes from the people. So these things are happening, but yet there is a problem of a seat adjustment, because so far, if you see the poll preparedness is concerned, Mamata is no doubt much ahead of these parties, because till today, Congress and left could not declare the all 294 seats. Because even what they have declared, even in some of the constituencies, they are fighting with each other. They have put up candidates against CPM. CPM has another problem with about his partners like CPI, RSP, Forward Bloc. Particularly RSP has threatened even that they will not withdraw any candidate against Congress. So in this case, so Mamata is having a quite advantage, because whether this alliance would work finally at the ground level or not, because ultimately you have to bring the voters to the booth. So whether Congress workers will work for CPIM workers or CPIM workers will work for Congress candidate, that is yet to be seen.
And just talking about issues, the public perception really of Mamata Banerjee, because she's a leader that came in, as we pointed out, ushering a Sonar Bangla, but of course that is something that still, everyone's floundering to find
Bengal has a long history of a political
But apart from
violence.
that, some of the issues that recently, of course, we saw those bribery tapes that we did see. We have seen, of course, a scam after the other, one, of course, being the Sharda scam. We also have the issues about how she has actually treated all those rape cases that came forth, the kind of statements that came out from her. That's something, at least outside West Bengal, is something that's discussed a lot. But within the state, are these issues, will this actually affect her vote bank? Will that make a difference?
Well, so far Sharda issue is concerned, even after the Sharda issue, there were elections in the state where that thing didn't affect at all. But even this Narda issue, which is a scam, new scam, where the people are seen taking bribes. Because West Bengal is a peculiar state. It's basically a rural state. It's not an urban state.
Exactly.
You will find out of 294, 72 municipalities. So that you can say semi-urban kind of constituencies. So these issues are being discussed, but it's in Calcutta metropolitan area, also in the drawing room of a middle class, not among the rural masses. So that is 200 seats, where this thing I don't think will have any impact.
All right.
But in middle class constituencies, well, there will be some places where the vote percentage might go down. People may not come for voting. That may happen. Now, that is the duty of Election Commission to see that people should come out and vote.
Still some days to go. They, of course, have lots more speeches to make. We'll keep a track of all those developments. Gautam, thanks so much. Shekhar as well. Thanks so much. As the days progress, we'll be, of course, here in Verdict 2016, taking you through all those developments. In fact, time now for our poll snippets in what we are calling Polpuri. Well-known Malayalam film actor KPAC Lalita today opted out of the electoral race citing health reasons. Lalita, who was considered a left candidate from the Vadakancheri Assembly constituency, informed the party leadership of her decision on Monday. While she cited poor health and prior film commitments as reasons for her withdrawal, reports state that dissidents in the party over her candidature could have prompted her decision. Local party activists had recently taken out a protest march against her candidature in Vadakancheri. The Kerala government will approach the Chief Electoral Officer seeking a review of the freeze on the free ration scheme announced in the state budget for 2016-17. The Election Commission's directive was issued last week stating that the scheme would violate the Election Code of Conduct. The budget has proposed free rations to all those below the poverty line and beneficiaries of the Antyodaya and Anna Yojana. The Chief Electoral Officer has now asked the government to postpone the launch of the scheme till the elections. BJP is planning to field cricketer S. Sreesanth as its candidate for the Kerala Assembly elections to be held on the 16th of May. Sreesanth said that he will communicate his decision by tomorrow. Family members say that he received a call from a top BJP leader in Delhi requesting him to contest from the Tripunithura Assembly constituency. They also said that Sreesanth is likely to meet BJP Chief Amit Shah when he does visit Kerala. And that's all we have for you on Verdict 2016. Thank you so much for joining us. Do join us again tomorrow.